This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not provided as financial, legal, or any other advice. The information is not investment advice or an offer to buy or sell any securities or make any investment. The views expressed by guest speakers are their own, and any reference to third-party products, services, or information does not constitute an endorsement thereof by SNN or its affiliates. SNN expressly disclaims all liability for any individual's use of the information presented in this podcast.
My guest on the show today is Francois Roberge, President and CEO of LSL Pharma Group. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is LSL on the TSX Venture. LSL Pharma Group is a Canadian integrated pharmaceutical company specializing in the development, manufacturing, and distribution of high-quality natural health products and dietary supplements in solid dosage forms, as well as high-quality sterile ophthalmic pharmaceutical products, according to the company's website. I invited on Francois to discuss developing their own pharmaceutical products in-house versus partnering, why there is an opportunity to consolidate the fragmented CDMO, which stands for Contract Development and Manufacturing Organization market for niche products, LSL's natural health and ophthalmic products, and Francois' 3 to 5 year vision for the company. With that, please enjoy my conversation with Francois Roberge, President and CEO of LSL Pharma Group.
Francois, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Fine. Thank you, Robert.
Absolutely. So, the reason I wanted to have you on here today is one trend that we've seen in the last quarter or two is that, look, healthcare biotech has just gotten absolutely demolished over the last couple years here. And, in the last quarter or two, it's kind of starting to be interesting again, and investors are open to looking at various opportunities. So for my audience, I want to provide a wide swath of various companies across the healthcare spectrum. So, LSL was introduced to me by a colleague, and here we are. So, I wanted to start us off here today, Francois. Can you give us that one line that best describes LSL Pharma?
LSL Pharma is a fast-growing pharmaceutical contract development and manufacturing organization, what we call CDMO. We're focusing on natural product and ophthalmic product.
Very good. So let's look back at LSL Pharma history. When was the company originally founded, and what was the thesis for its founding?
Yeah. Just maybe my background, I'm a CPA. I worked 15 years in a big accounting firm in Montreal. And in 2006, I joined a small company called Gem Pharma. When I joined the company, the business was at $2 million revenue. When I left in 2013, we grew the business up to $85 million revenue. In 2014, I bought one of our actual division, which is LSL Laboratory, a CDMO focused on a natural health product, solid dosage form, located near Quebec City. So we are manufacturing solid dosage product, natural product, supplements such as tablet, capsule, and powder. In, let's say, 2020, we acquired SteriMed Pharma. SteriMed Pharma is a ophthalmic sterile manufacturing plant. Right now, we are manufacturing sterile ointment for the, let's say, the Canadian market, and some product also for the US market.
Very good. So what would you say makes your natural health products unique and different compared to some of your peers? I mean, it's a very competitive space, as you know, probably very well. So what makes yours unique and different?
Yeah. We have very good cost of operation. We are located 1 hour east of Quebec City. So we have a good people working there. We have a good cost of good. And we are very, very experienced in, let's say, tableting products. So in the pharma industry, the tableting process is the more complicated process. And also we are very good experience in coating product. So we can coat product for delayed release or long time release. So we have a good experience and very expertise in the, let's say, coating, tableting, and capsule for the natural product industry.
Right. And so according to your investor presentation, I mean, when you look at the revenue segmentation for LSL, it's 85% CDMO, 15% on private label, your own product that you develop for yourself and then sell. So let's dig in
Exactly.
more into the CDMO side of the business, right? Because that's clearly where
Yeah.
the bulk of your revenues are coming from. So on that side, you mentioned that your expertise on the coding and all that, how do you compare then also, like, just looking at the competitive landscape, how do you look at some of your peers in the CDMO space and where you fit into that?
Yeah. Right now, because of our size, let's say we're still a small CDMO company. Um, there's not a lot of competition on our niche product that we're manufacturing for some of let's say a generic company in Canada. So we are not manufacturing millions of tablets for each product, but so we are more focusing on niche product and very specialized product for the generic market of our client base mainly in Montreal and Toronto. So that's why maybe we can develop and also adjust the formulation of product based on what are the requirements of our clients.
Absolutely. So, I mean, when some of these companies are going out there and they're looking at which CDMO they should use, I mean, you're at the stage that you're at, why would they choose you versus maybe one of your larger competitors? That love to hear more there.
Yeah. Uh, because we're still small and we're focusing on niche product, we are more flexible than compared to big pharma and big CDMO. So we can manufacture and adjust production based on the need of our clients or the emergency of our clients. So we can turn around production, switch production from a client to another or a product to another. And let's say, we can manufacture, let's say when we receive a PO from clients, we can deliver within 4 months usually, and maybe faster than that if the client need the product very urgently. So flexibility is one of our good criteria, and also as mentioned, our cost structure is very very competitive for those kind of product across Canada.
Very good. So let's also take a look at some of the products that you do produce. Can you tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about Steramed? Let's start there because I think let's start with Steramed.
Okay, Sterimed, which is the ophthalmic side of the business, we are manufacturing right now ophthalmic ointment, prescription product, as well as OTC product. Right now, we are manufacturing three different products, but we have, let's say, six new product in development that will hit the market, let's say, by the end of 2024, 2025, 2026. Especially in the ophthalmic manufacturing, there's not a lot of competition unless you're called Bosch or Allergan or big Novartis company. So very small niche manufacturer like us, there's not a lot in Canada, and maybe one or two additional company like us. So we have demand from Europe, Middle East, United States. So we're not a big company, but because of that specialty and the complexity of manufacturing sterile ointment product, we have demand across the world for our capacity. So we are developing right now CDMO business. Right now, the product that we are manufacturing and selling are our own products, so Sterimed product. But right now, we are in discussion with some US client and international client to be, let's say, a CDMO for their own product.
Absolutely. I mean, in your opinion, what do you think will get them over the hump? In some of these conversations.
As mentioned, say we can manufacture small batches of product, and when the company want to enter a market, maybe not in the United States, but more in Europe, we can manufacture small batches such as 10,000 units up to 25,000 units. Compared to competition right now, you need to manufacture at least 200,000 units per batches. So that's the difference between the niche manufacturing company like us and a big pharma. You need to have a very huge volume when you want to do business with Bosch, Allergan, or Novartis.
100%. So, I mean, I'm looking on, again, going to the investor presentation on upcoming catalysts. You talk about how in Q3 2023, LSL, you moved into the new NHP plant. And then the goal for Q1 2024 is doubling production capacity. So tell us a
Exactly.
little bit about more there. How are we doing on that front?
Yeah. So initially, we start the relocation of the NHP plant in February, March, and we have completed by the end of September. So we went from a 7,000 square feet plant to a 24,000 square feet plant. We will add additional equipment, tablet press, coating, packaging line, mixer, in order to, let's say, in order to reach $20-25 million revenue within 3-4 years with that plant. So, and the new equipment that we will currently we were adding to the plant. So, with those equipment and the clients we have, we will be able to reach the $25 million revenue, and the demand is there. So right now our book of order is full for 2024 almost. Close to $12 million. So the demand is there. It's just a matter of us to make sure that the equipment is running, and we will be able to produce and manufacture those products for our clients. And we just add the significant new clients, let's say in Q3, Q4 this year with the new plant and the additional capacity. And eventually maybe we'll go to DIN product, drug product, with that plant, because we manufacture the plant in order to have the Health Canada license approval for drug product eventually.
Got it. So, I'm curious, from your perspective, what would you say is your primary focus when it comes to growth in the business? Is it more on the CDMO side, or is it bringing more in-house product to then sell to the market? Or is it a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. When we look at, let's say, the SteriMed plant, the Ophthalmic division, we want to develop our own product, but we want to co-develop with other partners. We have a good partner in the US right now, Pharmaceutical, that we manufacture product for them last summer. So we are waiting for the FDA approval for that product. And Ferra is like us. They are focusing on eye product. They are not manufacturing, so they need a company like us to manufacture their products. So right now, as mentioned, we have 4-6 new products in development, and we want to reach and to have a co-development partner with us. So we'll keep the Canadian market with our own product, and we will act as a CDMO for a US partner or a European partner for the same product.
So another aspect of the growth strategy that I saw here is that the company's looking to be acquisitive, and you listed out some of your criteria. Can you go through that a little bit?
Yes. As mentioned, we are focusing on organic growth as well as acquisition. So we're looking to business acquisition as well as product acquisition. We acquired 5 or 6 DIN product for the Ophthalmic division last year, but we are looking for acquisition that can complement our portfolio of product. So right now we are not manufacturing liquid product. We are not manufacturing ointment topical products. So we're looking to maybe add those type of product to our portfolio in order to offer those products to our client base right now. Also for the Ophthalmic side, we are exploring the veterinary business. Right now, there's not the market for the veterinary in Canada is small. So for us, because we're a niche manufacturer, it's very good. And there's a lot of opportunity, and pricing on the veterinary market is significantly higher compared to the hospital or the pharmaceutical pharmacy market in Canada. So that's both. And the acquisition, we have looked, let's say, last year for 1-2 acquisition, and we'll continue in 2024 to at least make 1 or 2 acquisition in the coming months in order to increase the business and also to diversify our portfolio of product.
Got it. And then, sorry, I don't mean to jump around on you, but
No, no, it's all right.
I'm doing it anyway. I apologize. But going on your multifaceted growth strategy, going to the first point you said on there is continuing to expand capacity and ramp up production. How much is low hanging fruit is this? Because some people might see this and say, okay, they have more space within their own facility that they have, or they need to now go and acquire some more real estate and build that out and whatnot. So I'd like to hear some more color there.
Yeah. As mentioned, for the NHP plant, we have a lot of capacity, maybe warehousing eventually. On the SteriMed side, we have a lot of capacity internally. Right now, we have only one line that is currently running, but we have a space for an additional ointment line and eventually a new eye drop line. Market is, especially in the ointment market, there's not a lot of competition. Right now, there's no generic company. You're talking about Novartis, Allergan, or Bosch. Right now, we are developing product to be the first generic on the market in Canada as well as in the US. And as mentioned, ointment, it's each product in the ointment business for the Canadian market is maybe $5-6 million or lower. But if you look at the US markets, maybe $50 or $55 million for one product. So that's why with our FERA partner, we want to develop new product and be the first generic on the market. So right now we have a capex project of adding a new ointment line because the capacity, if you want to be on the US market, you need to have capacity. Right now our capacity is maybe 1 million to 1.2 million units. With the new line that will be in place and running maybe early 2025, we'll jump the capacity from 1 million to 5 million units a year on one shift. So that's why we need that line in order to be ready for the US market. And eventually, we have the space for eye drops. Eye drops are more competition in eye drop, but a lot of more product also in the market.
Good. So, I mean, going back to the competitive landscape, everyone in your position where you're at in your business, you have a North Star. You have all right, this is the, obviously we want to, be a bigger version of ourselves. Of course, everybody says that. But there's also a North Star company that you're like, or companies that you're like, hey, this is where we would like to be. Who would you say is that, North Star, bigger cap company that you'd like LSL to eventually, onto itself, of course, get to?
Maybe there's not, because we want to diversify. Maybe Bosch is a big company that is in the ointment side or ophthalmic side, but we want to be a diversified CDMO. I don't have any company in mind, but of course, we want to go from $10-12 million revenue in 5 years to $100 million revenue with maybe 4 or 5 different manufacturing plants in the pharma. Of course, the ophthalmic side of the business is where on long term that the growth will come because of the specialty and the complexity of manufacturing sterile product.
Very good. All right. So, I mean, Francois, it's, look, it's a pretty simple story, right? With LSL. It's CDMO, kind of specialized in OTC healthcare product. If you need a place to manufacture it, in a nimble way, because you're smaller, that's exactly that's where LSL makes a lot of sense right now. So, despite the relatively simple thesis for LSL and some of the growth strategy and where you want to go, what do investors maybe still get confused about when thinking about LSL? And maybe we can address some of those frequently asked questions here.
As you mentioned, we are a CDMO, so we have revenue, we have clients, we're making eventually, but the Q4 will be a good quarter, and 2024 a very good year. We have everything in place at both plants to grow the business, and with acquisition, I think in the coming years will be more presence across Canada and in the States. So it's a matter of time for us. Developing product take maybe 2-3 years, but when you look at product that we want to develop, right now for the Canadian markets, it's like, as mentioned, it's one product that we're currently developing. The Canadian market is 5 or 6 million, but the US market is 60 million, and there's no generic there. So with Ferra will take care of the distribution, will have a profit sharing, something like that. The growth is interesting, and the future is very good for us. And I'm not taking any potential acquisition in the loop right now.
Very good. Yeah, no, I mean, look, you're at a stage where what would you say is that main catalyst that, like, if you were to maybe entertain being acquired, right? Because you're small enough where, like, if you could be one of those where it's like, all right, they're starting to gain a little bit. Let's just take this thing out right now before the before they
Yeah.
continue to grow and get bigger. I mean, what do you think that would even be? What would that I'm not saying you would accept it by any means, especially,
No,
public
that's
company,
it.
you gotta get it approved by the board, share the whole bit. But like what
Exactly.
what what would that main catalyst look like where somebody bigger would come in and say, all right, I'm just gonna snatch you up and let's call it a day?
Right now, maybe we're too small, but eventually, with the expertise that we will develop in the maybe more in the ophthalmic side, eventually, bigger company will look at, like you said, will look at us and say, okay, those guys are coming in the market that we are right now alone. Maybe it will be interesting to make an offer for the business, and that's maybe the trend. See, right now we're too small; they don't see us in the market, but within 2 3 years, we'll be there. Especially because we will be first generic on some very niche ophthalmic product, and eventually eye drops. So, of course, I think the SteriMed will make more noise in the market eventually because of that specialty and the complexity of manufacturing those products. And there's not there's no competition right now. And just maybe to add to this, right now we have a temporary FDA approval to export one of our products for the hospital market in the US because there is a shortage. And the US FDA cannot find any other manufacturer other than us that can supply the US market for that product. So, but we cannot
Why?
supply the full market,
Uh-huh. Why?
but we supply, let's say, 25%.
I was gonna say,
So
like,
it's a small, it's a
sorry, I
small,
keep
it's a small, it's a small. See, in Canada, we are only two manufacturers right now for that product.
okay.
In the US, there I think there were two or three. The FDA closed one business, and right now there's a shortage. And with Ferra again, because it's our partner, we work since I think April on that. And when the shortage arrived in September, we were ready to ship a couple of thousand units. And right now we have a temporary approval up to June 30 to export.
Oh,
And
interesting.
if the
Okay.
capacity were at more than that, right now, I would say, as mentioned, we can manufacture 1 million tubes a year. The US market for the only that product is 4 million. So we cannot supply the full of our market, but it's an opportunity for us, and there will be more in the future.
Very cool. All right. So another question that I have, and look, I like to try and give all sides of the story here. So, another question that I ask everybody, in your opinion, what would you say are some of the company's downside risks, other than execution, of course?
Yeah. Other than the execution, say, when we look at COVID, say in 2022, we got the supply chain issues with the manufacturing of sterile ointment. There is only two or three companies around the world that manufacture sterile filters, and they were not manufacturing it for, let's say, 10 months. So 2022, we were very low on production because of a shortage of that unique product that we need for manufacturing. So procurement, during COVID, we got some issues, but especially for the sterile business, 2022 was a very difficult year. That's one, say, for us, it's a major, say, we need raw material, we need empty tube, we need bottles. So, say, the supply chain were affected by COVID, and we're still not fully recovered, but right now, everything is going well. The other thing is, we need Health Canada approval as well as FDA approval. Say every year, every 2 years, those guys coming at the plant, they look at our business, they look at our process. They can say, "Oops, there's a problem there. Your license is suspended." But for the last 5 years, up to when we bought the company, every time the Health Canada was very happy with our result and operation. So the approval by Health Canada FDA, it's another things that we need to make sure that is okay. And potential, say, right now, as I mentioned, say, we are focusing on niche product, but competitors can come in Canada for maybe even if it's a small market for the ointment, but competition can be another thing for our business.
Very good. And I appreciate you answering that question. That was very well rounded. And, you know, I really appreciate every time a CEO really can address all that so that, you know, you don't have to just go digging through everything and have that. Well, we want to make sure what you're saying is, of course,
yeah. That's thing that's
you know.
the major thing that we follow. So because say we can product recall, Health Canada suspend license. So when we bought the SteriMed in 2020, Health Canada was suspending the manufacturing of that plant. So within 18 months, we changed all the process. We get back the Health Canada license and we restart the production. So you need to be on top with those company, not company, but Health Canada and FDA. So you need to be very, very well and to follow the trend, because 20 years back, the obligation or the requirement are significantly different from what they are right now. So you need to follow the trend of the requirement by the FDA and the Health Canada.
100%. So another question that I have for you, you know, going through the deck, it looks like, you know, the year to date for 2023, it's improved, but the company's still, you know, not profitable. So just curious as to the company's, your path to profitability and keeping a focus on that while also still being focused on growth. So I'd love to hear your thoughts there.
Yeah. It's a matter of volume. See, we need to increase the volume. So 2024 budget is significantly higher than that. The both plan right now, especially the NHP plan, they are fully ready to increase and double the production. So next year, everything will be in place to double the production. And as well for the Ophthalmic plan, we have a small capex that will also double the production. So next year, it's a matter of increasing the production because the business is there. Everything that we manufacture on the ointment side is still as soon as it's ready to be shipped. So it's a matter of increasing the capacity, and you'll see that Q4, Q1, the trend is going on that side.
All right, so Francois, you've answered pretty much all my questions. I've just had one more for you. You know, in your opinion, and you've kind of addressed it a little bit, but you know, it's a good wrap up question. You know, but you know, so in your opinion, where would you like to see the company in 3 to 5 years, and what would you say are the inflection points that'll get you there?
My goal is 5 years, 100 million sales. So that's the goal. That's the strategic goals of the company, and every VP is aware of that. It's a combination of acquisition and product development. Without acquisition, I think we won't be able to achieve that. But we're confident that there's opportunity right now in the market for acquisition as well as product development. So I'm pretty sure that we will be able to achieve that. It's a matter of bringing an acquisition of 10, 12 million, after that 25 million, and going on and going on. And as mentioned, the market is there. The opportunity, especially in the ophthalmic side, is very, very unique in the US market. It's a combination of developing new product and strategic accretive acquisition.
Very good. All right, well, Francois, we're there, man. Where can our audience go and find more information to follow along the LSL Pharma story?
Yeah, we have a website with that groupe-lslpharma.com. So every financial information are there, press release, deck as well. So Our year end is December, so result will be communicated around mid to end of April. And more news, if you want to follow the company, every time we issue a press release, it will be available on our website.
Very good. Well, Francois, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I look forward to our next update.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not provided as financial, legal, or any other advice. The information is not investment advice or an offer to buy or sell any securities or make any investment. The views expressed by guest speakers are their own, and any reference to third-party products, services, or information does not constitute an endorsement thereof by SNN or its affiliates. SNN expressly disclaims all liability for any individual's use of the information presented in this podcast.